What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into books, ideas, and strategies to level up our lives. Today, I am super excited to talk about a book that has been a game changer for me. The Daily Laws by Robert Greene. If you've been following the channel, you know I'm a huge fan of Greene's work. His ability to unpack human nature and strategy is unmatched. But this book, it's different. It's like having a mentor whispering practical wisdom in your ear every single day. I've been reading it for months, and I want to share my experience as a reader, walk you through the book chapter by chapter, and give you some real actionable tips to apply Greene's ideas to your life. Plus, I'll lay out what I love about the book, where it falls short, and whether it's worth your time. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Picture this. I'm sitting at my desk, flipping through the Daily Laws for the first time, and it feels like I'm holding a treasure map. The book is structured as a daily devotional, with 366 entries, one for each day of the year, including a leap year. Each entry pulls from Greene's earlier works like The 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, and The Laws of Human Nature, but it's distilled into bite-sized lessons. The idea is simple. Read one page a day, reflect on it, and let it shape how you move through the world. As someone who's always juggling work, content creation, and personal growth, I was hooked by the format. It's not overwhelming. It's like a shot of espresso for your brain every morning. Let's start with January, where Greene kicks things off by focusing on self-awareness. The entries here are all about understanding who you are at your core. I remember reading the first day's lesson, which urges you to embrace your uniqueness. It hit me hard because, as a content creator, I'm constantly tempted to compare myself to others. Greene's advice? Stop trying to fit in. Your quirks, your weirdness, that's your superpower. I started applying this by leaning into my authentic voice on this channel, even if it meant some videos didn't appeal to everyone. One practical tip from this chapter is to journal about what makes you different. Spend 5 minutes each night writing down one thing you did that felt true to you. Over time, you'll see patterns that help you double down on your strengths. As January unfolds, Greene pushes you to confront your flaws. There's a day where he talks about recognizing your blind spots, those habits or biases you don't even notice. For me, this was a wake-up call. I realized I was procrastinating on certain projects because I was scared of failing. Greene's insight helped me face that fear head-on. My tip here is to ask a trusted friend or colleague for honest feedback about your weaknesses. It's uncomfortable, but it's like holding up a mirror to your soul. By the end of January, I felt like I was starting to know myself better. Not just as a creator, but as a person. Moving into February, the focus shifts to discipline and focus. This section is pure gold if you're trying to build habits or chase big goals. Greene pulls from Mastery here, emphasizing the power of consistent effort. One entry that stuck with me is about creating a daily ritual. Greene argues that small, intentional routines compound over time. I started waking up 30 minutes earlier to plan my day, and let me tell you, it's been a game changer. My productivity spiked, and I felt more in control. A practical tip from February is to pick one task you want to master, whether it's writing, coding, or even cooking, and dedicate 15 minutes to it every day. Track your progress in a notebook to stay motivated. February also dives into dealing with distractions. Greene doesn't don't sugarcoat it. The modern world is designed to pull your attention in a million directions. As someone who's guilty of doom scrolling, I felt called out. One entry suggests setting strict boundaries with your time. I started turning off notifications during my deep work sessions, and it was like unlocking a new level of focus. Try this. For 1 week, put your phone in another room while you work on something important. You'll be amazed at how much you get done. March brings a shift towards strategy and power dynamics, drawing heavily from the 48 Laws of Power. This is where Greene's genius for navigating social situations shines. One day's lesson is about observing before acting, watching people's behavior to understand their motives. I applied this during a collaboration with another creator. Instead of jumping in with my ideas, I listened and watched how they operated. It helped me build trust and avoid stepping on toes. My tip here is to practice active listening in your next meeting or conversation. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Really absorb what the other person is saying. It'll give you an edge in any negotiation or partnership. Another standout from March is the idea of cultivating an air of mystery. Green argues that being too predictable makes you less influential. I experimented with this by being more selective about what I share on social media. Instead of posting every detail of my life, I started teasing upcoming projects without revealing everything. It sparked curiosity and engagement from my audience. A practical move is to hold back one piece of information in your next interaction. Don't overshare. Let people wonder a little. April zooms in on resilience, which hit home for me during a tough month. Green talks about embracing adversity as a teacher. One entry recounts how historical figures like Abraham Lincoln turned setbacks into fuel for growth. I was dealing with a video that got way less views than I expected, and it stung. Reading this, I decided to analyze what went wrong instead of sulking. That failure taught me how to tweak my thumbnails and titles. My tip for April is to reframe one setback this month as a lesson. Write down what happened, what you learned, and how you'll adjust. It's like turning lead into gold. April also covers the importance of adaptability. Green emphasizes that rigid plans can break under pressure, so you need to stay flexible. I started applying this to my content calendar, leaving room for spontaneous ideas instead of sticking to a strict schedule. It led to some of my most creative videos. Try this. The next time a plan goes off the rails, brainstorm 3 alternative ways to move forward. It'll train your brain to pivot under pressure. May is all about influence and persuasion, pulling from the art of seduction. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding what moves people. One entry talks about appealing to someone's self-interest when pitching an idea. I use this when proposing a collaboration with a bigger channel. Instead of focusing on what I wanted, I framed it as a win for them. It worked. They said yes. A tip here is to practice framing your requests in terms of the other person's goals. Next time you need a favor, ask yourself, what's in it for them? And lead with that. May also touches on charisma. Green breaks down how to project confidence without being arrogant. I started experimenting with this by slowing down my speech during videos, making eye contact with the camera, and pausing for emphasis. The feedback from you all was incredible. People said I seemed more engaging. Try this. Record yourself speaking and watch for habits like filler words or fidgeting. Work on one small tweak to boost your presence. June dives into creativity and innovation, which was a breath of fresh air. Green argues that creativity isn't some mystical gift. It's a muscle you can train. One entry suggests exposing yourself to new ideas outside your field. I started reading sci-fi novels, and it sparked ideas for a video series that's now one of my most popular. My tip is to spend 10 minutes a day exploring something unrelated to your work. A podcast, a documentary, anything. It'll cross-pollinate your brain with fresh perspectives. June also emphasizes the power of constraints. Green says limitations can force you to get creative. When I had to shoot a video with just my phone and no fancy gear, I leaned into storytelling instead of visuals. The result was raw and authentic, and you all loved it. Try this. Impose a random constraint on your next project, like using only free tools or finishing in half the usual time. It'll push you to think differently. July focuses on leadership, drawing from the laws of human nature. This was a big one for me as I started mentoring a small team for my channel. Green talks about leading by example, not just words. I made a point to show up prepared and enthusiastic, and it set the tone for everyone else. A tip here is to model one behavior you want your team or peers to adopt, whether it's punctuality, positivity, or hustle. People follow what you do, not what you say. July also covers handling toxic people. Green's advice about keeping your emotions in check when dealing with drama was a lifesaver. I had a falling out with a collaborator, and instead of reacting impulsively, I took a step back and responded calmly. It preserved my reputation and kept things professional. My tip is to practice the 24-hour rule, When someone pushes your buttons, wait a full day before responding. It'll save you from saying something you regret. August is about mastering your craft, a nod to mastery. Green emphasizes the importance of deliberate practice, focusing on your weaknesses, not just your strengths. I applied this to my video editing, which was always my weak spot. I spent hours learning new software, and now my videos look sharper than ever. A tip for August is to identify one skill you shaky on and dedicate 30 minutes a day to improving it for a month. The progress will blow your mind. August also talks about finding mentors, even if they're not in person. Green suggests learning from books, videos, or historical figures. I started studying YouTubers I admire, breaking down their pacing and storytelling. It's like having a masterclass at my fingertips. Try this. Pick one person you look up to and study their work like a scientist. Take notes on what makes them great and test it in your own way. September shifts to social dynamics and influence, circling back to the 48 laws of power. One entry about creating a sense of scarcity really stuck with me. Green says that making something rare increases its value. I tested this by limiting the spots for a workshop I hosted, and it sold out in hours. A tip here is to create urgency in your next project, whether it is a limited time offer or an exclusive perk. It draws people in like a magnet. September also covers the art of deflection, letting others take the spotlight to avoid envy. I used this when a colleague got competitive about a project. Instead of fighting for credit, I hyped their contribution. It diffused the tension and earned me respect. Try this. The next time someone tries to one-up you, give them a genuine compliment instead of competing. It's disarming and builds goodwill. October is about vision and long-term thinking. Green urges you to think beyond the present moment and plan for the future. One entry about setting ambitious goals inspired me to map out a 5-year plan for my channel. It felt daunting, but it gave me clarity. A tip for October is to write down one big dream you have and break it into 3 smaller steps you can start this month. It makes the impossible feel doable. October also touches on legacy, how your actions today ripple into the future. This got me thinking about the impact I want to leave through my content. I started focusing on creating videos that inspire long-term change, not just quick entertainment. Try this. Ask yourself what you want to be remembered for, and let that guide one decision this week. November dives into emotional intelligence, which is so crucial for navigating life. Green talks about reading people's emotions without getting sucked into their drama. I used this during a heated family discussion, staying calm and empathetic instead of taking sides. It de-escalated things fast. A tip here is to practice emotion spotting. In your next conversation, notice the other person's tone and body language. It'll help you respond with more finesse. November also covers gratitude as a tool for resilience. Green argues that appreciating what you have shifts your perspective. I started a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things I'm thankful for each day. It sounds cheesy, but it's kept me grounded during stressful times. Try this. Every morning, name one thing you're grateful for before checking your phone. It sets a positive tone for the day. December wraps up the year with reflections on purpose and meaning. Green encourages you to align your actions with your deeper values. This hit me as I was planning my content for the next year. I decided to focus on topics that genuinely matter to me, even if they're not the most viral. A tip for December is to reflect on your why. Write down what drives you and check if your daily habits align with it. Adjust where needed. December also emphasizes celebration, acknowledging your growth over the year. Reading this, I looked back at how far I'd come with the channel. It was a reminder to give myself credit. Try this. At the end of the month, write a letter to yourself about what you're proud of this year. It's a powerful way to close the loop. Now, let's talk about what makes the daily laws shine. The biggest strength is its accessibility. Green takes his dense, complex ideas and boils them down into daily doses that anyone can digest. Whether you're a CEO or a student, there's something here for you. The variety is another plus. Each month feels like a new adventure, covering everything from power to creativity to emotional intelligence. I also love how it encourages reflection. The short entries give you space to think and apply the lessons, which made me feel like I was growing with every page. But it's not perfect. One downside is the repetition. Since Green pulls from his earlier books, some ideas feel recycled if you're already familiar with his work. I sometimes wished for more fresh content. Another issue is the lack of depth in some entries. Because each day is just a page, complex topics like leadership or strategy can feel oversimplified. If you're new to Green, this might not bother you, but as a longtime fan, I occasionally wanted more meat. Lastly, the book demands discipline. It's designed for daily reading, but if you skip days or try to binge it, you lose the reflective magic. I struggled with consistency at first, especially during busy weeks. So, is the daily laws worth it? Absolutely, especially if you're into personal growth and want a structured way to apply Green's wisdom. It's like a daily coach for your mind, helping you navigate life's challenges with more clarity and confidence. My experience as a reader has been transformative. It's shaped how I create content, lead projects, and even handle relationships. But it's not a one-size-fits-all. If you prefer deep dives over daily nuggets, or if you coffee read all of Green OS books already, you might find it less groundbreaking. Before we wrap up, here's one final tip. Treat the daily laws like a conversation with a mentor. Don't just read it, engage with it. Highlight passages, jot down thoughts, and test the ideas in your life. That's where the real magic happens. If you've read the book or plan to pick it up, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. What's your favorite Green book? And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into books that change the game. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next one.